Hey everyone! It's been a while, hasn't it? You may not recognize some things around here, and right now you're wondering why you're seeing this channel in your feed. Remember the coffee house? Yeah, that's me. What you're seeing now is the product of a 9-month redesign. Contrary to the leading theory, I have not been scratching my and doing nothing for the entire time. So stick around because I'm going to give a full channel update at the end of the video. So, been a real stinker of a year for animated movies, huh? Is what I would have said if Puss in Boots: The Last Wish hadn't received a higher score than Avatar 2. I love it. And we'll get to Puss in Boots 2 soon enough. In the meantime, get cozy, because we're going to talk about Strange World and everyone's already asleep. Hey, Disney, I really do appreciate the attempt at an original story, but you know that you need an actual story, right? Not just a bunch of concept art? Also, don't shaft the marketing, doesn't inspire confidence. But yeah, Lightyear is almost just as bad. But before we get to that, we need a crash course in all things space. Space movies are always super fun, or they're super depressing. There's actually no in between. You have movies like Interstellar, which is one half sobbing and one half the ending, Mason. What does it mean? Still, Interstellar works because although the story is grounded in a plot that's centered on the emotional connection between a father and his daughter. I know there's still some planet jumping and some really cool concepts for planets and their mechanics. Or you have Star Wars, which is less depressing and more into cool fights and expansive world building. Both of these models work. Space is big, and world building is important in space movies. What's the government like? Can planets communicate with each other? Are we flying a rocket through a tsunami or not? What even was Moonfall? Because that happened in that movie. Another question would be, are we ignoring time dilation or aren't we? Star Wars ignores time dilation. Interstellar does not. And it's actually a big part of the story. These are different kinds of movies that can be set in space, but they all have one thing in common. Well, actually two things. One, they're fun. There's plenty of action scenes because this genre lends itself so well to creative action. You're either performing a spinning docking procedure, or you're wielding a laser chainsaw. Yes, that actually happens in Sharknado 4. Whatever it is, it's fun to watch because it's stuff we can't find here on Earth. That's really the draw with these kinds of action films. It's stuff that's more fun and dynamic and interesting than stuff that we can currently experience. But there's a second requirement for writing a space adventure, and it's one that's not as obvious. With a story being set on, I don't know, planet Nutsack, we're dealing with concepts that can be hard to grasp. It would be incredibly taxing on the human mind to watch a show or movie that was 100% action scenes, and time-bending space portals and, what have you. If the setting is fantastical and ungrounded, the real core of the movie needs to be something a little more, down to earth. We need to see human characters interacting the way they do on Earth, but in space. And space needs to change them, present new emotional challenges. It needs to be interesting. With a movie like Interstellar, the story is focused on the relationship between Cooper and Murph. Or a movie like Ad Astra actually does the reverse. It's focusing on the astronaut Roy and his complete detachment from all emotions because of the severed relationship between him and his father. Bottom line is, if you want us to be able to watch your cool planet-jumping, reality-bending adventures, you need the real story to be based on an emotional relationship. And you also need it to be fun. Bonus points for creative use of color, as real space is just black. Spoilers. It's devoid of color. And this is precisely where Lightyear failed.
There's a star waiting in the sky.
I mean, you might think I'm being too pessimistic, but the film actually starts out pretty great. We're with Buzz Lightyear, his friend, this intern character, who I swear was gonna be the twist villain, but that didn't happen. and they're exploring this new planet. Oh shit, it's uninhabitable. And by that, we mean it's totally inhabitable, we're just too lazy to stay here and figure out a real solution. We need to get out of here, bitch. Buzz tries to fly the ship off the planet, but no, he crashes and we get the title screen. So here is problem number 1. And I am in no way the first person to bring this up, but the fact that this is a movie set in space, and we barely leave this one planet, that's a problem. That shouldn't happen. This is Buzz freaking Lightyear, and we do not get to go to infinity and beyond. Look, Buzz, an interesting movie. So why are we chained to this one planet with a dull color scheme? Because you wanted to be more mature? Well yeah, we all know that you need to be more mature, but this is not how you do it. You know, if you want to tell a more serious and dark story, I applaud that. I think being a more mature film is always good. Don't dumb things down, that's what Minions does, and we don't all need to be doing that. It's lazy if you do that, but it's also equally lazy for this movie to be a mostly terrestrial adventure. We could have seen other alien races, planets, galaxies. We even get a little bit of that time dilation we were talking about earlier. But all the kids in the audience want to time dilate right out of their seats because they're freaking bored. And yes, I hear you typing, this is an origin story, and the sequel is going to have actual space adventures. No. I mean, yeah, probably, if it gets a sequel, which, let's be real, they're not. But spending $200 billion more on what amounts to pure setup is just an absolutely boneheaded idea. And you know what? Let's read some more reviews for Lightyear, why not? Alright. Lightyear reviews. Lightyear, okay. The first search suggestion is Lightyear reviews gay, so 2.7 out of 5. That's not that good. Alright, this is someone who actually liked the movie. Sure, it's different from the main Toy Story tetralogy, but it's different in a good way. Entertaining. I've got to disagree with you there, Chief. Is this a real person? Every third word is capitalized. This is not real. Okay, this is stupid. There's another reason Lightyear is bad conceptually. We've already established that a space movie should have emotion. It should have those powerful scenes that make you really fear for these characters. And Lightyear has one of those. Just one, though. 2 would have been over budget. Look, we have Taika Waititi. Laugh, damn it. By the end of the movie, you don't really buy that these guys are a family. Hell, they're barely even a crew. And they are most definitely not anywhere close to a team squad. Buzz spent so much time being an asshole that he never stopped to consider whether he should be an asshole.
How may I assist you? Is there anything I can do, sir?
Buzz has no emotional connection to these characters. The closest connection he has to is probably Izzy, who's related to someone he knew, but that's as close as it gets. There's no good reason given for him being so distrusting of others. That's just who he is, I guess. There's no emotional fabric here. And when the movie ends, it's just kind of a farce. And look, I'm not saying that every protagonist has to be the best character out there and never have any faults. I applaud this movie for making the main character an asshole. That's a hard thing to pull off. That doesn't mean they pulled it off, though, because they didn't. And don't even get me started on Zurg. Because he's no more of a villain than the hair on my ass. He's an extension of Buzz's negative personality traits, which I think can work, but Zurg really should have been a genuine antagonist. Someone who's not necessarily pure evil, because that's boring, but someone more interesting than Buzz from the future. I'm telling you, it should have been the intern from the opening scene. It just makes so much more sense. He looked up to Buzz so much, and when he saw how Buzz messed up, he spiraled into self-doubt and eventually an unparalleled desire to prove himself, effectively copying Buzz's mistake, but in a worse way. See, I just rewrote half the movie in like 10 seconds. The movie has no emotional through line because none of the characters like each other, and it makes it incredibly boring. It's like Rise of Skywalker. Everybody in that movie hated each other, and it made it so not fun to watch. So now that we've seen how an absolute stinker of a movie fumbles the ball, let's see something with 1/10 of the budget pull it off 10 times better. I know I've been using the word stinker a lot in this video. Can you tell that I started watching Critical over the break? Final Space is a roller coaster of a TV series. It has its ups and downs, sure, but there's one aspect of the story you can always count on: the incredibly fun world these characters live in. In Season 1, we see a new planet basically every episode. It makes this universe feel alive, not to mention it's freaking hilarious.
Friend mode! Engaged!
Friend? He was just betraying you.
Untrue. We clasped hands. Right, bro? You idiot! That's my freaking arm! You just ripped off my arm! Oh my god!
In Season 2, we still see new planets, but new and creative concepts for episodes as well. The ship is stuck in a time crystal. They have to win a race to the death for the Librarian Cube, for the Hungarian Lube, for the Nymerian Cube. You never know what you're gonna get. And Season 3 gives us Invictus, the Zombie Garys, more of Bolo's mind. Whoops, the Lord Commander is a Titan now. This universe is so fun to watch because every new concept is really interesting, and none of the episodes feel the same. The use of color is also just so incredible. I mean, look at this shot from The Devil's Den. Why can't something like Rick and Morty look this vibrant? It's very cinematic, and that's all I have to say about it. There's really not much else to say on this point. Fun is fun, what can I say? It sure is a good thing that this show will be here forever so we can appreciate— God damn it! Final Space isn't just fun, but its emotional beats always land right on the money.
No. Take care of my boy.
Season 3 shows this off especially well, with the separation between Avocado and his son being one of the most well-crafted dramas I've ever seen in anything, animated or not. The characters fight, they make up, and they grow from it, just like an actual family. There's a reason why the Lightyear crew feels more like just a crew, and the Final Space Team Squad feels like an actual family, because it's real, it's raw. Even the ones that I used to despise end up getting incredible redemptions. Characters are all linked together through some emotional connection to Gary, who started off having almost no one to turn to, just Hugh and Kevin. Now it's Hugh, Kevin, Avocado, Quinn, Little Cotto, Cheryl, Tribor, Quattronostro, Ash, Fox, Clarence, Bolo. It's like one big family, really. And they lose some of those family members over the course of the seasons as well. Of course, Disney wouldn't have the balls to kill off Mr. Thor Love and Thunder over here. Avocado's death, while it ended up being reversed later on, really meant something when it happened. This tragedy was one thing that transformed this crew into something more, something directly mentioned by Gary in the Season 1 finale.
I don't know what we are. A crew? Feels like we're more than that. I mean, friends maybe? But to me, we become like a close but very strange family. And without you, I wouldn't be me.
Us. Shut the hell up, Kevin! I will never leave you, Gary. I will be your deep space insanity avoidance forever companion.
I swear to God, Kevin!
Final Space is set in, space, and therefore it needs an effective emotional core for the whole thing to connect back to the human experience. So now we have a show that actually pulls these concepts off well, but I'm not quite satisfied. I can stand here all day and tell you the same thing you've heard from 10 other YouTubers. So let's take it a step further. Let's apply what we've talked about to Lightyear and see if we can rework it into something good. Let's add a stronger emotional through line, and let's get them off this one boring planet. Here's my pitch for a Lightyear that fundamentally works. First off, we are no longer anchored to one planet. The Space Ranger Corps already exists, and Buzz is a rookie at this point. He's part of a crew, but only one man actually befriends him. This man is his closest and only real friend for a few weeks at the Academy, until they go on their first mission. His friend is captured by Zurg in this mission, and interrogated about how to bring down the Space Rangers. The mission leader is also killed in this same fight with the Zurg army. The rest of the crew is defeated and leaderless. They are ordered to return to Star Command, where they will be court-martialed for their failure. Determined to save his one and only friend, Buzz becomes the leader of this tattered crew of rookies, defies the orders to return, and leads an assault on the command ship to save his friend. Meanwhile, in captivity, his friend learns of Zurg's one true weakness, a specific type of solar radiation that is extremely potent to the Zerg armor, and the metal it's forged from. An epic lightspeed chase ensues, with the crew gunning for this remote star, where the rest of the Space Ranger fleet is waiting to engage them in a climactic Star Wars-esque final battle. The film will feature several planets, we'll get to learn of other alien races that help our crew escape the Zerg command ship, and we'll work in some fun world building with stars and their unique radiation types that have different effects. It's fun, but also emotional. The brother saving brother dynamic is partially borrowed from Gurren Lagann, where the sudden disappearance of an older brother pushes the underdog to take on the leader role. There's an emotional connection there, and since Buzz is on the same level as the other rookies on his team, it's easier for them to feel like a family with a real, fleshed out dynamic. And that's my pitch for what Lightyear should have been. Let me know, is it good? Is it bad? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Whatever you think, I want to hear it. Now, onto the short update of what I've been up to in the last few months. I think you deserve an explanation of where I've been, how I came to make this new kind of content, everything. So here's a quick rundown. This new avatar? Well, I'm still Candles, it's just a different design. Come on, it's not like I've been consistent in the past. First real avatar was blue, then she was tan, then there was the final space era avatars. We don't talk about those ones. I changed it that time because I couldn't handle the back pain. Anyway, as you can see from this graph, Candles has come a long way, and I'm really confident in this new design. Yes, I know I said that last time, but I can draw a collarbone now, so there. As for the pivot from video essays to movie reviews to video essays again, I've always wanted to make content that really mattered. I want to really make a difference. And a little while ago, I realized that the typical 5-minute movie review of the jaded white guy in their 20s, talking about how everything sucks in Hollywood nowadays, is just such an oversaturated market. Do you really want me to talk about She-Hulk? I don't think so. I want to be different. I want to talk about things that really make a real difference. And I can still do that by writing film-related scripts that make people laugh and by having this furry avatar that changes outfits. Yes, this channel is nowhere near perfect or anything. It's objectively still pretty messy right now, honestly. But I can guarantee you that from now on, every video on this channel is going to be something original, something you can't find anywhere else on this website. It'll be something I'm really passionate about. So if this sounds like something you want to see, stick with us while we make these videos better and better. And if you have any suggestions for video ideas related to film, Hollywood, or TV in general, let me know. Anyway guys, I think that's all for this video. There were a few more things I want to mention before I sign off here. Oh yeah, we've switched from Reddit to Discord. So if you want video updates, that's where you can find them. The full body outfit drawing will be there as well. Anyway, I better get some sleep. We've got another long day of sneaking into the theater to watch Puss in Boots 2 again tomorrow. But anyway, Puss in Boots 2 is probably the best DreamWorks animated movie since Kung Fu Panda 2. Anyway, I hope you all have a lovely evening. Check out the Discord for updates, and I'll see you next time.